Good morning. Welcome to a new session of our video class. In this class, we will discuss about the Raman effect, a beautiful phenomenon, a beautiful discovery made by great Indian physicist C.V. Raman in the year 1928. Raman effect is a very significant phenomenon, significant discovery proposed by C.V. Raman in the year 1928. Until today also, it has great importance to study the properties of molecules, interaction of molecules, discovery of new elements, discovery of properties of new elements, and so many important regions of chemistry. It is having such a great impact on these different fields. That's why till today also Raman effect is a great phenomenon which remains in the different eras of physics and also the chemistry, and its impact is very great, and it is the Raman spectroscopy is the key spectroscopy in so many regions of physics and chemistry. Today we are discussing about such a great discovery. Raman, right from his childhood days, very keen or very interesting about so many natural phenomena that are appearing. He is surprising about the blue of the sky, blue of the seawater, and the scattering effects of light. And he is having a great zeal about the experiments related to the light, scattering of light, and other phenomena related to the light. Right. In this process, Raman put forward his findings in the year 1928, which is ultimately termed as the Raman effect. Raman effect is when a monochromatic beam of light is allowed to pass through certain transparent materials. The scattered beam or the beam that comes out from the material was found to have two more components along with the original beam. It means that the outcoming scattered light has two components, means the light that allowed to pass through the material has divided into two components. It divided into two components. This particular phenomenon is known as the Raman effect. Therefore, the phenomenon of generation of two components of radiation, or the phenomenon of production of two more radiations along with the original light, when a light of certain frequency is allowed to pass through certain transparent materials, is known as Raman effect. Very obviously, in this phenomena, the light ray that enters into a material will come out along with two more components. It means that certain part of the incident light is divided into two components, and totally three components are coming from the scatterer or the material, in which one is the original light and the other two components are light rays or the radiation with different frequencies. One is the frequency more than the original, the other one is the frequency less than the original. This is the observations made by Raman, and surprisingly this particular discovery, this particular observation was made by Raman by using a simple apparatus which cost about 300 rupees in those days. But as I said previously, this phenomenon, the Raman spectroscopy is playing a significant role in many regions of chemistry and also in physics. Right. Let us go in detail about the Raman effect. The new lines that comes out along with the original lines are known as the Raman lines. I said just now that the original line with the original frequency comes out, and along with this one, two more components of lines are formed. One set of lines are having frequencies less than the incident frequency, which are known as the Stokes lines. The other set of lines whose frequency is more than the incident frequency, which are known as the Stokes lines. That's why Raman spectroscopy consists of two components of lines. One is the Stokes lines and the other one is the anti-Stokes lines, along with the original light that passes into the material. Okay, this is the Raman effect as a whole, and now we will discuss further in detail about the Raman effect by using the properties of Raman lines. Raman spectrum is a molecular spectrum. It means that Raman effect is because of the interaction of the incident radiation photons with the molecules of the material. Therefore, Raman effect supports the particle nature of the radiation. Raman effect supports the particle nature of the radiation, or Raman effect can explain only with the particle nature of the radiation. And just now we discussed it is the molecular phenomena. Raman effect is the molecular phenomena. And one more thing, Raman effect is due to the inelastic scattering between incident photon and the molecules of the sample material. It is the inelastic scattering between the incident photon and the molecules of the material. Actually, this spectrum is arised due to the vibrational and rotational states of the molecules. It is due to the later discoveries confirmed that the Raman effect arises due to the reason of the vibrational levels of the molecules. Molecules possess both vibrational, rotational levels, and frequency of Raman lines are depends upon the incident light frequency. Raman lines means Stokes and anti-Stokes frequencies depends upon the frequency of the incident light. But Raman shift means the frequency difference of the Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines. That is what is known as the Raman shift. Raman shift of the Raman lines depends upon the nature of the scatterer or the nature of the sample through which the radiation is allowed to pass through. It means that Raman spectrum is the characteristic spectrum of the scattering material. This is very important thing. Okay, therefore Raman effect is the characteristic spectrum of the scattering material. Means Raman spectrum is different for different materials. It is different for different materials. Okay, Raman spectrum gives the nature of the sample. It will give the address of the sample. It will give the name of the sample. It is the characteristic spectrum of the material that is used. And another thing is the displacement of Raman lines. The frequency displacement of the Raman lines depends upon the nature of the scatterer. Different materials will displace the Raman lines differently. Stokes and anti-Stokes frequencies depends upon the nature of the scatterer. Of course, lines with greater frequency are called anti-Stokes lines and lines with smaller frequency are called Stokes lines. But one thing, the displacement of the Stokes lines is equal to the displacement of the anti-Stokes lines. It means that the shifts are same. The Stokes line shifts are similar to the anti-Stokes line shifts. It means that Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines are symmetrically formed on either side of the original line. The anti-Stokes lines are weaker than the Stokes lines. One of the most observable thing is the intensity of the anti-Stokes lines is less than the intensity of the Stokes lines. And one more thing, Raman lines are strongly polarized. They are strongly polarized. And one more thing is, the shift of the Raman lines decreases with the temperature. When temperature increases, the shift of the Raman lines decreases. This is also one of the observable fact experimentally as far as the Raman effect is concerned. Therefore, as a whole, we will simply say that Raman effect is the inelastic scattering between the incident photons and the molecules of the sample material. Raman spectrum is purely the characteristic spectrum of the material. It will give the nature of the material. It is the representative of the nature of the material. And along with those things, these are the certain things that are observed as far as the Raman spectrum is concerned. Now, we will see what is the required experimental arrangement to observe the Raman effect. I said that about 300 rupees, with about 300 rupees, in those days Raman exhibited this phenomenon. Right. As far as the original experimental setup is concerned, the experimental arrangement consists of three important parts. One is the source of light. This is the source of light. We will discuss it completely. And the other one is Raman tube. And the third one is the spectroscopy. Spectroscope that is used for the observation of Raman effect. Right. One is the source of light, the other one is the Raman tube, the third one is the spectrometer. used for the observation of Raman effect. Let us see the each and every component of the experimental setup clearly. Source of light. Source of light is generally a flash lamp. Okay, when it is allowed to glow, light will comes out. Monochromatic beam of light will comes out. This is allowed to pass through a filter. This filter will further filters the unnecessary frequencies. Therefore, from this filter you will get to light of a single frequency, that is a monochromatic light, and it is allowed to pass through a material, a reflector, which transmits this line, and this light will fall on the Raman tube. And there is another reflector here, that is, when once the light enters into the Raman tube, certain component of the light will be reflected on every side. Therefore, that component of light, the component of light that comes towards this direction will be reflected back towards the Raman tube again, and also the light that reflected upwards can also be reflected from this reflector, so that okay, most of the light can enter and stay inside the Raman tube. Here the Raman tube is a black tube of diameter 12 to 15 centimeters and length about some 50 to 60 centimeters. This is the Raman tube. This is filled with a transparent material, and the one end of the Raman tube is molded into horn shape, and it is coated black. When it is coated black, the scatter light is not comes out from this part, because it is molded into horn shape and also coated black. Therefore, the light that try to comes out from this direction will be reflected, and this is the only window or the direction through which the scatter light will comes out. Okay, that's why this is the structure of the Raman tube. This Raman tube is surrounded by a water jacket, in which the inlet of water and outlet of water is there. This particular arrangement will reduces the generation of temperature while the phenomena is going on. And the other third component of this experiment is the spectrometer, that is used for the observe the Raman effect. Of course, the minimum arrangements of spectrometer are here: the convex lens in order to focus the outcoming lines, and the prism which is able to see the produces the arc used to observe the Raman lines by means of telescope. That's why this is the experimental arrangement of Raman effect. Okay, in order to observe the Raman line, that is the Stokes and anti-Stokes, when a light of monochromatic beam allowed to pass through a transparent material, and the scattered part of light, which consists of two components along with the original one. Right. All these things are what I said. All these things are discussed in the material that is scrolled out. Now, the quantum theory of Raman effect. Raman effect is the inelastic scattering between the incident photon and the molecule of the sample. The molecule of the incident photon will interact with the molecules of the material. Okay, while it interacts with the molecule of the material, then certainly there may be an exchange of energy. In the collision, the projected photon gives some energy to the molecule of the material. If the molecule in turn gives the same amount back to the incident photon, then the same photon will comes out. Therefore, there is no Raman phenomena. The frequency of the outcoming light is also equal to the incident photon. On the other hand, in this interaction, when the incident photon gives some energy to the molecule of the material, the molecule absorbs it, and while it gives back, it gives less energy or less energy to the incident photon. In that case, photon of less energy will come out. Photon of less energy will come out. Or the transition between the, when also the photon interacts or collides with the molecules of the sample, the molecular system will excite it to the higher energy levels, and instantly they will fall to their respective or other lower energy levels. In this process of transitions of the molecules from one energy level to the other energy level, during collision, if the molecule absorbs certain energy from the incident photon and gives only less energy, in that case, light ray of less frequency will come out. That is what is known as the Stokes line. On the other hand, during the interaction, okay, the molecule of the sample gives more energy that it absorbed from the incident photon. If it gives more energy to the incident photon that it absorbed previously, then in that case, radiation of more frequency will come. That is what is known as the anti-Stokes lines. This is the transition, the diagram of molecular transitions from one energy level to the other energy level, in which as these two things are from the same between same energy levels, you will get the original line. In this case, anti-Stokes. In this particular case, the outcoming radiation has more frequency. Therefore, this is the anti-Stokes line. And in this case, the outcoming radiation has less frequency. It is known as the Stokes line. Okay. That's why these two things are simply explained between the collisions or inelastic collisions between the incident photon and the molecules of the sample. Okay. Right. This can be simply very simple formula, because okay, according to the law of conservation of energy, E1 is the energy of the ground state or the original state, H nu incident to frequency, incident to energy of the photon, E2 is the energy excited to energy of the state to which the molecular system excites, and H nu is the H nu prime is the radiation that comes out. Therefore, E1 plus H nu is equal to E2 plus H nu prime, or H into nu prime minus nu is equal to E1 minus E2, or nu prime is equal to nu plus R minus E1 minus E2 by H. Okay, right. In case of if nu prime is equal to nu, in that case you will get the original beam. Okay. In case of nu prime is greater than nu, it will be happen and nu prime is equal to nu plus delta E by H. Delta is the energy difference between the two levels between which the molecular transition will take place, and when nu prime is greater than nu, you will get light of more frequency, that is the anti-Stokes line, and if nu prime is less than nu, you will get the Stokes line. This will happen, it is because of nu prime is equal to nu minus delta E by H. Okay, that is the transition of the molecule from one energy level to the higher energy level to the energy level which is greater than its original energy level. Okay, that's why by means of this simple explanation we can understand the generation of Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines, which are known as the Raman lines. Okay, as far as this phenomena is concerned. and it is because of the interaction of the uh, incident photons with the molecules of the sample material. It is purely molecular interaction. It is a purely molecular phenomena. It is because of the particle nature of the incident frequency, incident radiation, and Raman effect is Raman effect is Raman effect is an example for the particle behavior of the particle behavior of the radiation. Right. Now we will see what are the applications of Raman effect. Actually, there are so many sophisticated applications of Raman effect till today in the research and the development of chemistry, discovery of new elements, determination of properties of the new elements, determination of the property of complex compounds, determination of the properties of some crystalline substances, crystalline molecules, and etc. and etc. Right. We will list out some of the applications here, simple applications here only. To study the molecular structures of the crystals. Okay. To study the chemical composition of the plastics and mixes. It is used to study the chemical composition of plastics and mixtures. It is used to study the spin and statics of the nucleus, statistics of the nucleus, spin of the nucleus, and the statistics followed by the nucleus or nucleons. To study the binding energies, binding forces between the atoms in molecules of crystals. It means that Raman effect is a very important effect or very important phenomena to study the internal structure of the complex molecules, complete internal structure of the complex molecules. Therefore, binding energies, binding forces, and so many other things will be studied, okay, by the Raman effect. To study the bond length and relative distribution of the atoms in the molecules, not relation, relative distribution of the atoms in the molecules. Relative distribution of the atoms in the molecules means how the atoms are distributed in the molecule to give a definite shape and size and stability to the molecule. That is what is known as the relative distribution of the atoms that can be studied by the Raman effect. Okay, not relation, please. It is the relative distribution. Next, to study the compounds with covalent bonds, it is used to study the nature of the compounds having covalent bonds, and also it is used to explain the electrolysis reactions of materials. Okay, it means that it is also useful the electrolysis reactions. It is also used to study the structure of the atoms in complex molecules. Yes, okay. I said this one also previously. It is used to study the structure of atoms in the complex molecules. Okay. And it is also used to study the nature of the compounds and their internal structures. Okay. Nature of the compounds and their internal structures. These are certain simple properties or applications of the Raman effect, but its applications are very sophisticated in the present science of chemistry and science of physics, research related things as far as the chemistry is concerned, and properties of new elements, discovery of new elements, and so on. This is all about the Raman effect. Thank you.